camera. Bow. All right. Panther people, what up? We live, and that's because of you, the subscribers. We got to over 1,000 subscribers just in time before the regular season starts. So that, thanks to the YouTube gods, allows us to stream. Now, I'm using my phone with this, so I'm going to be watching myself on the iPad so that if there are any actual people who are watching this, I can interact with you. Panthers post. I am currently live, so I'm watching myself. No one is here. You are here, G Money. I can see you. So I'm going to be a little delayed. So you can type stuff out. So I'll be a little delayed. So I'll be a little bit delayed when I'm responding to you. But G Money, I do appreciate that you're here. All right. I will say, number one, thank you to everybody who has been tuning in, who has been, watching these episodes. We've been going on this since pre-draft. And so this is the first time really there's actual football to talk about. And the fact that you guys have been tuning in during the off season, pre-draft, during the draft, after watching rookie OTAs, mini camp, training camp, and now the preseason games means so much to me. Honestly, this is just something I'm just doing for fun. I love this. It's a Saturday night. I'm here. My kid's sleeping upstairs. My dog is to my left. And this is what I want to talk about. I'll also apologize that I was not streaming yesterday. I really wanted to, but your boy has a day job, and I was home very late in the evening. It was about the second half. I still had a lot of duties when I got home. Shout out to G Money. I'm from Charlotte. I enjoy your podcast. Diehard Panthers fan since '95. That is awesome. And TJ, what is good? You know what's good? You, TJ, you are good. But yeah, Charlotte. I hope to visit Charlotte soon. Hopefully this pandemic subsides. Just want to let you guys know, Canadians can't drive through the border to America for non-essential reasons. I could fly there, but that could be a lot with a baby and a dog and a wife, all of which, including myself, our bladders aren't too huge. But again, what was I getting back to this? So I was home late yesterday, so I thought it would be a disservice to watch the second half because from what I was seeing just on the Twitter machine, via the Panthers' actual Twitter account, and also Joe Person and other beat reporters, Panthers offense and defense and special teams did great things. So I rewatched the game. So unfortunately, there's not going to be that live reaction, which has always been my plan for this channel. Luckily, we got that to work that out. Luckily, we're not going to have any Friday night games anymore. One Thursday night game with the Texans. But every other game basically is a Sunday at 1 p.m. So I will be streaming a watch party. For those who don't live in Charlotte, who don't have PSLs, who don't have season tickets, we can all watch this thing together and we can react together, kind of like we're doing right now. Thoughts on the game? Argonaut. I'm going to talk about that. O-line definitely needs work. We're going to talk about all that. All right. So my plan again is to be streaming watch parties with the Carolina Panthers, with watching the Carolina Panthers every Sunday. And then I'm going to try to cut that up and then actually have a edited down version. But enough of that. Let's talk about last night's game. And the Steelers and the Panthers now have more of a history, not just on the field, but now off the field. Of course, David Tepper, owner of the Carolina Panthers, richest owner in the NFL, was a part owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He is from the area. He has, like, the business school, I believe, is named after him. And so he's a big deal out there. And the Steelers, let's be honest, have owned the Carolina Panthers. I believe there was a Thursday night game where they just ransacked us, literally ran us into the ground. There was the hit that TJ Watt put on, I believe it was Cam Newton. Yes, it was Cam Newton. And it was at that moment, it was that TJ Watt hit on Cam Newton, I think on his shoulder, that kind of started that downward spiral of the injuries. And it's been a tough team to play for. And also from what I've been reading on Twitter, lots of Steeler fans at the bank. And so we got to stop that. No more of that. Maybe they're too cheap to pay for regular season tickets. But there has been a history of the Steelers whooping the Panthers' ass, whether it's either in preseason or during the regular season. But now, they got a Pittsburgh guy owning the team. And then you had last night with the Panthers beating up. Basically, it was a wrap by the first half, beating up the Steelers 34-9. And there were a lot of highlights. There were some really low lights, more sad lights. dim, pale blue lights for Shi Smith. One of my most anticipated rookies in this draft class. I know a lot of people talking about him as one of their Steve Smith 2.0s. Steve Smith, who is in the booth doing color commentary, calls him Steve Smith 2.0. And we're going to talk about that later. The loss of him, and all the best to him. And we're going to talk about that a little later. But first, let's talk about some of the highlights. But let me figure out this tripod a little bit. Lower it. A lot of headroom, as they say in the biz. Got a little close. Panthers, Chris, what up? Hope Deontay Brown can make the starting O-line. Yeah, we'll talk. Let's talk about the O-line. So, from what I saw, if Sam Darnold, who played all right, I'm not looking at stats because it's the preseason, okay? But he started the entire first half with basically every single starting offensive player besides our the beginning of last year's first and second string running back, and Christian McCaffrey and Reggie Bonifant. Reggie Bonifant, he's not making the team. He's just, your best ability is your availability. He hasn't been available. But basically, it just felt like with the O-line in its transitional period, we still really don't have a stalwart left tackle. Maybe they pick somebody up when training camp is done, because there's, as well as a linebacker, but there's going to be a lot of guys, name brands, who could be let go for whatever reason once training camp is done. Just saying, what up? This team looks bad. David, we're going to talk about the specialness. Lucas Weber, what up? Hello, greetings from Germany. See? So my boy in Germany, he can't be watching games at Bank of America Stadium. So, hey, guten Tag. Yeah, Frau Chisholm. I think our German teacher in high school is named Chisholm. So, yeah, Frau Chisholm. You can watch Panthers games with me. I know you're 5 hours ahead of us, but it was only like 6 o'clock at night. That's not bad. You can get a bratwurst and get a beer. We could watch it all together. All right. The interior O-line is more of a liability than the left tackle, to be honest. I don't know. They got some big boys, though. Got some big boys on the interior line. We'll see. But you are right, though. When it comes to the center, Matt Paradis, I'm not too sure if he sticks around long enough after this year to continue that. All right, 15 people watching. I love it. Spain is here, too. Spain. Vamos. Vamos. So sorry about Lionel Messi bouncing over to France. By the way, UEFA ranked Ligue 1 below the Portuguese football league, so he's now playing in a farmers league. Sorry, I'm talking European football, guys. I'm gonna do it. I'm not just a one-trick pony. But yes, we can also watch this together. Anyways, let's stick. Parody, yeah, he did. So let's focus on Sam Darnold. All right, so Sam Darnold, if you give him quick throws, he's all right, especially with the offensive weapons that they have. And it seems like everyone took some DJ Moore serum and specialized in yards after the catch. Whether it's Terrace Marshall, who we're going to talk more about, or Dan Arnold, who we're going to talk more about. You just get it to him and they'll make things happen. And if he can do that, and minus Christian McCaffrey wasn't even playing. So if you can get those, quick passes out, get him a little bit more comfortable, and then he can air it out to, the Robbie Andersons out there, which he did do in the dying seconds of the first half. That's great. But the amount of times that we saw that we had to drop back 5 times, almost 7 times, it just did not work out. He either ran out of time and he found himself almost confused and rushed and desperate. And you could see what he was doing. And there was a bit of Jet Sam Darnold I saw there where he had defenders all over him and he still tried to make a pass. It's those things. It's those moments that freak me out, because maybe he lets one off and then someone picks it off and it's a pick six and the Panthers are in trouble. So as long as you give him, to start off, those quick reads, you got a ton of talent, more talent than he's ever had, arguably in his career. And I think good things can happen. And I think once he builds his confidence, builds his chemistry with some of the players, I think things could work out well. Some highlights on the offensive side. Let's start with the running backs. All right, let's start with the wide receivers. Terrace Marshall, holy crap! When we had big body guys, whether it's Kelvin Benjamin. I'm not going to say the other guy's name who plays the Green Bay Packers because he did a certain thing to my people post-practice, post-game. I'm not going to talk about him. But he went to Michigan, and his initials are DF and the fuck. But anyway, when the Panthers had big body receivers since Mushi Muhammad, they were just big bodies. But Terrace Marshall strikes me more as a big body that can move. And, he highlights that he can play in the slot position as well. And I mentioned about the DJ Moore DNA and that yards after the catch. And Terrace Marshall has that. Not only does he have soft hands, but he can make moves as well. And in his first touchdown in the NFL, albeit the preseason, he showed patience. And maybe it's his size, but he looked like Le'Veon Bell. He looked like an oversized Christian McCaffrey / Le'Veon Bell, just reading the blockers and finding his way into the end zone. He just wasn't using his pure athleticism, which he 100% has in spades. He was using his blockers intelligently and using a lot of patience, and found himself in the back of the end zone. Before that, he's had a lot of plays as well when it comes to just soft hands and either making dudes miss or making sure the first guy doesn't get him down. Parodies are good. Javier Fernandez, Pat Eiflin could maybe be our option to play center if Parodies looks bad. That's true. But we wanted to keep Curtis. I don't know if I wanted to keep Curtis. I think Curtis, first of all, he's already been on the COVID list. So we don't know what kind of liability he's going to be for the Panthers in terms of being available and, the team forfeiting a game. We cannot be doing that, especially in the NFC South. Not a lot of talk about Atlanta right now, but the Saints, with Jameis, guy's got LASIK eye surgery now. He's chucking bombs and he's chucking darts as well. And, I'm thinking the Panthers are a sneaky playoff contender for sure. I think they could finish second in the NFC South. But with guys like Curtis who may or may not be vaccinated, putting their team at risk, I don't know about that. Anyways, I'm happy they paid Robbie, who I'm going to talk about next. So before the game, Robbie signed that 2-year extension. I'm not too sure on the actual money details, but he felt comfortable enough, and he even said to the media afterwards that he loves it here. He feels the love. And not only that, when you're a wide receiver and you have that chemistry with the quarterback that he does with Sam Darnold, why would you want to go anywhere else? Why would you want to figure it out with another team? You know what I mean? And so he's back, reunited with his boy, Sam Darnold, and you can see that they already have that chemistry. There was a beautiful 2-minute drill by the Panthers leading into the halftime. And Sam, it wasn't a no-look pass, but he just put that trust in Robbie, who beat that linebacker just straight down the middle of the field, and it was just a perfect catch. Robbie barely had to lift his feet off the ground. It was a beautiful catch over the shoulder, kind of like bang like this, able to get the toe drag swag situation, but he didn't really have to drag much. He still had tons of end zone behind him, but he made his linebacker miss, and it was a great pass from Sam Darnold, and you can see that wasn't like a medium length pass. It wasn't a bomb, but you see that trust is there. And from that on, it kind of makes sense why Robbie Anderson would want to stay. What that means heading into next year for guys like Dante Jackson, who has been filled with energy. If I'm a rookie corner, he's the guy I want to talk to because I feel like, he's a great pro. He's entering a contract year, but, he's focused on this year. And not to talk about European soccer again, I'm a Tottenham Hotspur fan. Harry Kane has been bringing up a little bit of drama about, what he wants to do with his career. So it's good to see a guy like Dante Jackson, who's in a contract year, just staying focused on the task at hand. He's a lot more focused than I am. I'm jumping all over the place. What are people saying? I'm thinking about getting a jersey. Any recommendations? I want to go safe. I'm afraid that players like DJ Moore, DJ Moore's, no. Didn't he sign an extension? I thought DJ Moore signed an extension. Curtis too expensive. It is wide too. Yes, that's true. Terrace Marshall, Des Bryant. Yes, Robert Andrews. Not only is he because he's wearing 88. Terrace Marshall with he's kind of like a bounty hunter. He's kind of like Boba Fett, where he's silent, but he'll get you. He'll kill you. With his size, with his speed, as I mentioned before, his patience. Even though he's a big guy, he kind of runs like a 5'9" Spencer Brown, who we're going to talk about later, type of running back. So he could be a Des Bryant, and hopefully less fiery, less dramatic. He seems like a super chill guy. Even when he got drafted, sure, he got a little emotional, but he seems like almost like an introvert. And I'm all about that. If you're an extrovert on the field, an introvert off the field, and stay out of trouble, I'm all about that. Sam looked loose. He did look loose. The real zero chill. Ryan Santoso. Yo, I'm all about 6'5" kickers. I want to see him lay somebody out. I want to see him lay someone out. Imagine. That'd be the best. James also eats W's. That dude is known for bad judgment. That is true. This is the preseason, so there's really nothing to lose here. Digit BR. There's really not much to lose there. So when the game's on the line, what's James going to do? Sam didn't favor not one guy who said this is true. Imagine being okay. So the real zero chill. You're saying some good things. So imagine being Sam Darnold and you had the plethora of weapons right now. Like you're gonna offend somebody. Like first of all, you have Christian McCaffrey, who's gonna get a ton of dump off passes. And then you even got Chuba Hubbard behind him, who looked good too. Sure, there were some things that he did that people are mentioning. He kind of spins unnecessarily, but he's a rookie. Okay, just let him figure it out because I'm sure that worked in college. It's not going to work here. But he was better running upfield, running north south. He was way better at that. So you got Chuba Hubbard, you got Spencer Brown potentially as your third string running back, and then on the wide receiver side, you have DJ Moore, who's due for a big payday, who's a yak machine. You have Robbie Anderson, who's your ex-teammate. You have Terrace Marshall, who could be a rookie offensive player of the year. And you have David Moore, who played well into the second half of this game and doing a lot of kickoff returns, punt returns. But he's a veteran who you could probably rely on as well. And you almost had Shi Smith to begin the year, but let's just talk about that now. How sad are we about Shi Smith right now? Normally I don't watch into the fourth quarter of preseason games, but Shi Smith going down the way that he did. Now, I broke my collarbone. Now, we still don't know what he has. Matt Rule did say after the game that it is significant, and they're going to be keeping an eye on it, and they hope it's not a long time. But that is sad because he's not a big dude, and that's, I think, why people love him. He's the everyday man. He's the everyman on the field. Not only is he from the area, but he's not a huge guy. 6 foot, 6'1", maybe even shorter, most likely like 5'10", not a big dude. And when you fall like that, and it's not due to anyone hitting you, it looked like I'll take you behind the curtain a little bit. I was an athletic therapist for 3 years, meaning I took care of people when they got hurt. I was a therapist for football teams as well, so I know what certain injuries look like. I've also broken a collarbone, so it looks like something with his shoulder, whether it was a really bad dislocation. For me personally, I think it was either a broken collarbone, clavicle. I hope it wasn't like a shoulder blade or something like that. But if he's just gone for a couple of weeks and he'll be on the IR a little bit and then come back, if I were him, I wouldn't rush it. I think he still makes the team, and then try to come back next year. I hope not, because that guy had so many acrobatic catches in practice as well as during games. He had no fear. Again, Steve Smith 2.0. Anyways, that was a super bummer, but he was another guy who Sam Darnold has at his disposal. And then you got the tight ends. You got Dan Arnold, who looked great. Not exactly the most athletic dude, but he's a big guy. And he can stretch the field a little bit. He's got some speed. He's a huge target. After the catch, he doesn't do much. I'm more of a Tommy Tremble guy, and I really do feel, and I've been saying this since he was drafted, I think he's going to surprise some people because he wasn't built as a guy who was actually asked to catch. He wasn't, not that he couldn't catch the ball, he wasn't asked to catch the ball. And now that he is, I think he's going to have some open lanes because you're going to have the defense trying to pick their poison on who they're going to cover, and you're going to have Tommy Tremble out there. He already had a really nice touchdown the last preseason game in the back of the end zone. I don't know if he was supposed to catch it, but he caught it. So he's got an eye for a ball. He's got the hand. He's got the soft hands. So he's got so many weapons, and you're right. You are right, the real zero chill. He wasn't cherry picking. He wasn't favoring guys. You would think he would favor a guy like Robbie Anderson, but he was chucking it to everybody. And when everybody's happy, everyone's eating. Everyone wants to play. Everyone wants to go all out on every route because you never know when your time will come. So I love that mentality. So that is definitely something that Sam Darnold is doing that we all liked for sure. JC Loud, JC Horn. Yo, the real. Are we going to host a show together? You're giving me all this stuff. Okay, I'm not getting mad at you, Digit, about Spencer Brown. You're right. Spencer Brown definitely shows a lot more of that fast twitch, acceleration. Mind you, it was in the second half. That was a really nice run. I will say, nice 20-yard touchdown run. He did not allow the first or second tacklers to get him down. He just kept bulldozing dudes. And then eventually, once he went into the open, he just outran guys and found the right angles. You're right. And Chuba, however, compared to him, he has that home run hitter DNA, kind of like Christian McCaffrey. He has said before that he matched his game to Christian McCaffrey. He is a dual threat running back. He can catch the ball if he concentrates. There have been a couple drops when he's running to the flat, and it really upsets me, not just as a Canadian, but just as a former running back as well, at not the highest level, but still. But he has that home run hitting capability. And I think that's what makes him a little bit edge over Spencer Brown. But I think after that, Spencer Brown can still be used. I 100% think that guy can still be used, maybe in punt returns as well. Okay, JC Horn. Let's talk about JC. Now, I know I got some comments from people before saying that why are you comparing JC Horn with Justin Fields to completely different positions? I'm just saying they chose him over Justin Fields, and you have to justify the pick. And the fact that there were no highlights of JC Horn is a good thing. Sure, an interception would be nice, but that means they were throwing to his side. And they rarely threw to his side. And he is a big dude, and someone's going to challenge him eventually in the regular season. I could see Tom Brady doing that. I could see some of the veterans thinking that they can beat him, and I think he's going to make a fool out of some people. I think J.C. Horn is going to be amazing. I think he's going to be a runner-up or very close to winning. Well, he has to. He was the first defensive player drafted in this year's draft. I could see him getting a rookie defensive player of the year, 100%. I could totally see that. What do you think we do with Ian Thomas? Bye. I think Ian Thomas is gone unless he can do something with special teams. I think that Rizzo guy ended up doing more with special teams than I saw Ian Thomas do anything. Seems like the players like him. I don't know about you guys. I'm watching that Panther Confidential. I think it's dope. I'm not watching a minute of Hard Knocks. I'm so sick of the Dallas Cowboys. I can't wait for the Panthers to make their way over to AT&T Stadium and just whoop them. I really do think they're going to smash them. Brian Burns is going to be all over Dak Prescott's face if he's playing. The dude's already got a weird shoulder thing, and we all know, as Carolina Panther fans, shoulders for quarterbacks, not great. And so I think he's going to be all over him. I think we're going to be way too fast. They got a pretty decent offensive line, but I think our defensive line is amazing. So speaking of that, he does have to work on Chuba. He does have to work on his hands. Yes, number 38 played a good game as well. He was a hard hitter. I like it. Let me check his name real quick. Number 38. Yeah, this Panthers app, guys, is dope. Miles Hartfield out of Mississippi. Yeah, dog. 5'11", 210. Hits hard. I love it. But he was doing great. What are we talking about? So the defense. Defensive line. The disrespect on trying to pass on our defense with J.J. Watt's reject brother at fullback. First of all, I thought it was TJ who was trying to catch a ball. They're trying to do trick plays right now in the preseason. Now, I was super upset by that. But it wasn't. It was the fullback, Watt. And he couldn't catch the ball. He was a fullback. And Brian Burns made the most of it. So it was almost like a T-Rex trying to catch the ball. And then you had a Petrodactyl right behind him. And Brian Burns just eat that ball up, and he was out. And I think that's the kind of player that Brian Burns is going to be. He's going to be a threat. Not only against the pass, but against the run as well. He's going to cause havoc. I think he's definitely going to be a Pro Bowler this year. And when he wasn't doing something, Hassan Reddick was doing stuff as well. Because you got guys taking all the attention, paying all the attention towards Brian Burns, and then Hassan Reddick just kind of eats up the rest of it because he's got single coverage or whatever it is. He's going to eat, that's for sure. Also, RIP to Denzel Perriman. He did not stay hydrated. He was traded to the Las Vegas Raiders for a 7th-round pick and some other things. And again, your best ability is your availability. And if this guy doesn't make it work in Las Vegas, I think that could be a wrap on what could have been a very promising career. Because I was actually genuinely excited when they picked him up. He was part of my pep talks. Are you going to be, the next great middle linebacker for the Carolina Panthers? And it looks like no. That's a hard no. Okay. Also, the Panthers let some guys go. Tremble is exactly who I thought he was. I think Tremble is dope. All right. So let's see who the Panthers let go. The Panthers let some guys go. Yeah. Let's just take a look. All right. So the Panthers moved on from 6 guys to move down to 71 players. This is from Elena Getzenberg. Of course, I could also find it on the Panthers website as well. But I want to shout out to the beat reporters because you have a job that I would love. So, guys of note is Patty Fisher and also the linebacker, Jonathan Celestian, who they picked up. I believe he had some time with the Minnesota Vikings. But they let him and Patty Fisher go. I guess you got guys like Luvu who are, as they were talking about in the broadcast, a Swiss Army knife type player like a Jeremy Chin. So Luvu really stepping up, not only in the practice against the Baltimore Ravens, but in the game as well. And not only it's not what can't you do, what can you do? And Luvu's a guy who could do a lot of things. And when you look at Patty Fisher out of Northwestern, big dude, tackling machine, but and someone did mention him in some of the comment community, that he is kind of like a Luke Kuechly. More maybe in the way that he's like a traditional middle linebacker. He wore the neck roll and all that stuff. But if you're really just that kind of guy and potentially your liability in the pass game, I can see that not working out. But Luvu looks like an athlete. And he looks like he can make things happen against the run and the pass. So I can see him making some noise, 100%. At least on special teams, but he definitely has an opportunity. Him and Christian Miller, they definitely have opportunity to step up in this linebacker core, which is definitely the weakest part of this team because it's well documented. My trust in Shaq Thompson, not the highest. So, is still out there. And even Steve Smith says, and we'll talk about Steve Smith as a color commentator for the Carolina Panthers broadcast, but he said potentially the star middle linebacker for this team might be on another team right now. So that'd be kind of interesting to see what happens again. Some really talented guys are going to get cut in the next couple days, and the Panthers could pick them up because as we've already seen, Scott Fitter and company are in on every deal. Okay, what else people say? That's right, Ken Dog. This secondary is looking scary, even without Bouye, who's going to be out the first couple games because of taking performance-enhancing stuff. Lawrence Tickle, I love that name. I'm cautiously optimistic. I like seeing us do what we're supposed to do. I was also surprised to see refs make more than one call. That's true. Hey, guys, one day, and I think it was the radio play-by-play guy, McMixon, saying he foresees a ticker tape parade with his team, and so do I. I can see that. This team's only been around for 25, 26 years, man. It's going to happen. Argonaut saying this season has me so beyond hype. Guy, I'm hyped too. You think Roy or Gross Matos are out? Man, so Gross Matos, I was actually surprised to see him out there in the third and fourth quarter. I was very surprised. I didn't realize he was on the field until I saw him make a play. And then when he made the play, I was like, yo, your Gross Matos is still on the field? And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a mental thing, but the depth on the D line is pretty good with the additions of Daquan Jones, and you got Derek Brown, obviously who's still growing and he's going to be a leader for this team for a long time. And you got Hassan Reddick who could play on the D line as well, and you got Foxy out of LA who could be a beast. I guess Yatir, I hope he continues. I hope Yatir continues. I think Bravion that was also still playing in the second half as well. I didn't see him do too much standout things. I'm also not at camp. So again, it's all about that mental as well. That's what has you lose your position is the mental. And so it's going to be between that because on the field physically, I'd go Yatir Gross Matos because I think his ceiling is so much higher at that position. Chuba needs more Bojangles. I also see Bojangles closing some stores because everyone's just super burnt out. Smurfy says Derek Brown eats a lot of Bojangles. Hell, if I lived in Charlotte, I would eat a lot of Bojangles too. Watch from the UK. Jem, what is your EPL team? Do you have an EPL team? I'm Spurs. Let me know. I'm also saying there's a bit of a connection between the Carolina Panthers and Tottenham Hotspur. Not only are the Panthers and the Tottenham Hotspur featured in Amazon's All or Nothing, but in the Tottenham Hotspur All or Nothing season, Levy, who is Daniel Levy, who is the Daniel Levy? Yeah, David Levy? Daniel Levy? Levy, the owner, who owns Enoch, who owns Tottenham, was in his office making a call, and behind him was a Carolina Panthers helmet. And that was my world combining. And so, if you're a Panthers fan, you're almost obliged to be a Tottenham Hotspur fan. Liverpool, come on. Hey, Liverpool, what's up with the 1-1 draw against a 10-man Chelsea? You should have done the damn thing against them. Luvu does look boss, Andy. Luvu does look boss. Liverpool, Liverpool. I'm very offended. Babe, so my guys in Germany, England, and Spain, we got it. This watch party. I'm expecting you guys or gals to tune in. We could second screen or triple screen this. So what my setup is going to be like? I'm going to have my TV, Panthers. I'm going to have my iPad. It might have to triple screen as well. I might do iPad Red Zone because I'm going to comment on other teams as well, especially if you see, the Falcons screw up or the Saints screw up or lose in a heartbreaking fashion. You got to talk about it. But then I might have to have another screen so I can talk to you guys because I'm loving this communication. Have you watched any film of Brady Christensen? If so, what have you seen so far? I haven't heard his name really so far, so that's always good. That is always good. It's kind of like a corner. You don't want to hear a offensive lineman talked about too much. But Matt Rule said that he's primarily going to see him on the right side. If you want to remember the Panthers Confidential, they said that he is a second-round right tackle, third-round left tackle. So they played him on the right side. There were a couple preseason games they had him on the left tackle side, like they did last night, just to have him experience that as well. But yeah, if he can stay on the right side and learn from our dudes on the right side. Oh my God, I can't believe I just forgot our right tackle's name. I am so dumb. Someone's already yelling. Someone's yelling. Taylor Moton. I'm so stupid. But if he can learn from Taylor Moton, who's also done some time on the left tackle position, I think it's never a bad thing. Never a bad thing. So Jem says, I'm a Man City fan. No, man. Keep it blue. Be a City. No! You almost took my guy, Harry. If you were going to take Harry Kane, Man City, you would have paid the 150 pounds that Daniel Levy wanted, but you didn't do it. So, Man City, no. But you're right. I should keep. Well, I did keep it. The Tottenham Hotspur, they're kind of blue. Can't help with families from. It's why I'm paying. Everybody, do you think will be a surprise cut? Brady Moan could be a scary right side. You're right. Thank you, Peter Marsden. I know I was staying Moten in my head. Just like you mentioned, we'll be in on every deal, especially for the linebackers. We need to look into people being released in the interior line. Man City buys it. They sure do, Lucas. Man City buys every player, and so does Chelsea. Apparently, they just got Lukaku. It's like, here's money. Who could be a surprise cut? I think David Moore could be a surprise cut. The wide receiver. I think if Shi Smith, maybe, you know what? Shi Smith getting hurt may have saved David Moore's job. But I think David Moore could be a surprise cut if you want to call a free agent, pick up a surprise cut. I think Will Greer's gone. I don't know if that's so much of a surprise. He did have a really athletic play, but again, it was late in the game. He's still an elite athlete. Sponsored by Noble. Shout out Noble. They don't sponsor me. I'm sponsored by nobody. Sponsored by you guys. You guys keep me here. But I could see. I was actually surprised that Patty Fisher got cut because I thought that, you can have that anchor middle linebacker type situation. Also went to Northwestern. You would assume he's a smart guy. But I can see David Moore get cut. I can see Will Greer get cut. If somehow they cut PJ Walker instead of Will Greer, that would be a surprise. But I don't see that happening. Well, surprise cut. Also, shout out on my life. I got a tattoo. Bang. Boom. I know. It's not a panther. Where is it? It's a tiger. It's a tiger. Oh. It's a Korean-style tiger. I'm half Korean. I also got an English rose up in here. It's still dry. Looking kind of flaky. So if you're watching this in 4K, I apologize. If they got cut even. Who else could be a surprise cut? Who could be? Well, Reggie Bonifant has not been available, so I could see him getting cut. A surprise cut. If they see some kind of weird upside with someone with the DBs that we don't know about, but Kenny Robinson's been playing really well. He's a second-year guy out of West Virginia. Talking Will Greer, West Virginia guy getting cut. I can see Kenny Robinson not getting cut. He's been stepping up a lot. He had a nice little pick in the last preseason game. If he got cut, I'd be super surprised about that. I think David Moore is a lock for the roster. Personally, I think his hands are reliable and a good vet. He is a good vet. This is very true. I think we can get 9 wins this year. 9. Love Kenny. We're cleaning out cap space to grab offensive line. 20 mil plus available. Book it. All right. I can see that, Gary. I can see that, Gary Gainey. Okay. But yeah, I think post training camp cuts. I think the Panthers definitely need to focus on linebacker help for sure. They definitely need linebacker help, and if there's like a crazy left tackle on the bubble and they could pick someone up like that, or like you said, interior offensive line. I think this offensive line is going to be a work in progress throughout the season. Looking into next year's draft, I can see I know some people are looking at. I think his name is Kenny Hamilton. He's a safety out of Notre Dame. I see some people linking the Panthers with him in some mock drafts. Yes, I'm looking at 2022 mock drafts, but I can see the Panthers if they're middle of the pack. If it's another deep left tackle draft, I can see them drafting it. Like a blue chip left tackle player. I think that would really help. I don't know. I know it's the preseason, but I feel good about Sam Darnold. I know he's not a wild and crazy guy like Jake Delhomme, but I think he could be a Jake Delhomme. Like he's kind of like a 6.5, 7 out of 10 quarterback, but with the help around him. You don't have Steve Smith and Musha Muhammad and Deshaun Foster. You got who would you rather have? Would you have Musha Muhammad, Steve Smith, and Deshaun Foster, or would you have Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, Terrace Marshall, Christian McCaffrey? Or switch out Robbie Anderson, Terrace Marshall, DJ Moore, Christian McCaffrey. Who would you rather have? Who would you rather have? In the comments below, let me know. If we play fast, I think Sam could. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're doing great as well, Sean Chandler. Have you talked about Perriman? I did talk about Perriman. I said that they didn't release him. They traded him. They actually got value back. And I think they used that to get Santoso from the Giants. Shout out Dave Gettleman. Semi underrated, like went to the Super Bowl, but he also had Cam Newton. But yeah, letting Denzel Perriman go is a bummer. He is, I think, on the brink of his career being over. If he doesn't make it with the Las Vegas Raiders, who I couldn't even name you their linebackers right now because of whatever injury issues it is, I think that it could be a wrap. I think we could see him. No, I think it could be a problem for him because he was the guy they picked him. They handpicked him because of his veteran savvy, his tenacity, his leadership, the ability to stay hydrated. But and to let him go like that before really even seeing him playing it down in the preseason. The only really time I saw him in a helmet was the first day of training camp. That's it. So it's too bad. I think they're going to find a guy when someone gets cut. Let me just check on my child, everybody. Still sleeping. Good. Yeah. So I think it's going to be exciting to see who gets cut and who the Panthers pick up or who steps up. Did we get rid of our? Yes. So Joey Slye did get released. Santoso's our guy now. He's already a meme sensation. Anyone with a mustache, it becomes a meme sensation. Gardner Minshew, who now plays for the Philadelphia Eagles, to give Jalen Hurts. So what happened with that? Let's take a look at this. So Eagles trade for Gardner Minshew. They gave up a 2022 day 3 pick. That's fine. What does it mean for Jalen Hurts and Joe Flacco? It means that someone's getting traded. Ooh, that was big lightning. So that means someone's getting traded. Ooh, got some thunder up in here. That's all right. It could mean someone's getting traded. So yeah. Anyway, so Gardner Minshew, mustache. People love mustaches. And this Santoso guy, not only does he have a mustache, he's got dope eyebrows, and he's 6'5". So this is just hilarious. Wait a second. I just got to move my stroller. It's not my stroller. It's my kid's stroller. Hope you all like my pink shorts. That's right. Got my Cam jersey. There you go. Story about this Cam jersey. Sorry about this pink Cam jersey. I was in North Carolina for a broadcasting conference, sports broadcasting conference, and I had a stopover. It was in Salisbury, so I was in Salisbury, North Carolina. That's where the conference was. I was in Charlotte for about an hour. It's okay. Well, I'm with my dog. I was in Charlotte for about an hour, and I was like, all right, I got to go down Main Street. I got to go to the bank. It's the first time there. There was no game. It was in July, so nothing was happening. I think actually they just had OTA. So I remember walking to the practice field and seeing mud everywhere, and I was like, damn. NFL players are just here. Cam Newton was here, walking down this path to the practice field. Anyways, and so I think the pro shop was closed. It was being renovated, and everything was just out of a shipping container. So they had Cam Newton jerseys, and I was like, "Give me that. Can I try it on?" They're like, "Nope." And I was like, "All right." So I bought it, a large, tried it on right there. Took my shirt off in the public. People thought I was wild, and just put it on and never took it off. So I've had this since about 2012. I've had this shirt since about 2012, and it's faded, and I love it. I guess it's almost vintage now. It's almost, gosh, it's almost 10 years old. That is wild. This shirt's almost 10 years old. I think they also just changed the logo. They had just changed the logo. They updated it to make it more round. And so I've had this shirt for almost 10 years, and I love it. It also makes me look super jacked. I guess more than Perriman being gone, what do you think of his replacement? I'm stoked he's finally getting a start opportunity. I remember Luke said the year he was drafted, he was a dog. Panthers player. Ricky Prohl was the third receiver on that team, was nowhere close to the third option. And now tight end position was non-existent. This is true. Yeah, Garrett, you're good. Yes, that's right. Ricky Prohl was a third guy. I remember that. The Great White Hope. Do they call him that? Or the reliable third white wide receiver? Every team has one. But you're right. So they had Mushi Muhammad, Steve Smith, Ricky Prohl, Deshaun Foster, no tight end, really, because they were just kind of offensive linemen that can catch. You had your Tony Gonzalez's, but they are few and far between. But yeah, now we got new Mushin Muhammad, which is Terrace Marshall, new Steve Smith, which is DJ Moore. You got Ricky Prohl. You got Robbie Anderson, who, okay, Robbie, just body-wise, isn't anybody, but he's also not our third receiver, but he's also not another Mushi Muhammad. I would say Terrace Marshall is close to Mushi Muhammad. But just for comparison's sake, you got Robbie, who isn't either Steve Smith or Mushi, so he's your third guy, so he is better than Ricky Prohl. And then you got Christian McCaffrey, who, I mean, come on. Like, let's come on. Just stop it. The best running back in the league. Let's not even talk about that. And then you got Dan Arnold, who could probably blow any other tight end back then out of the water. And you got Tommy Tremble, who to me is going to be a franchise tight end within 3 years. Book it. I believe in Tommy Tremble. I really do. Who would you want to see kept on our practice squad if they get cut? Well, Shi Smith. If Shi Smith, like just for injury purposes, I don't know how it works business wise. How it works if he gets? Could you get cut if you're injured? You just get put on the IR. If someone gets cut. Maybe Ian Thomas, like hell, keep him on the practice roster just in case. Just in case. COVID risk though. Yep. Cam Irvin did play well, pushing the pass rush. Yeah, Lawrence Tickle talk about Cam Irvin. Cam Irvin again, not making a lot of noise for the right reasons. That's what we like to see. If he can, he's kind of like Darnold in the sense that, you know, they were highish draft picks. He was definitely higher, as in Sam Darnold. But if they could just be good, just be consistently good, then this team is going to make the playoffs. 100%. 100% this team is making the playoffs. And yes, that's how I feel. Also, let's talk about the uniforms a little bit. Can we talk about that? I know maybe I'm getting short on time or short on topics, but the white with the blue socks, I don't know. Looks like cotton candy. If they go black, white, blue socks, white, black, white socks, white, black, blue socks, better than white, blue socks. So that's all I'm saying. That's what I'm stopping there. All right, what do you guys think? How do we feel about this team? We're going to do this in another video next week because there's no preseason game next week. How do we feel about this team in general? I already said they're going to make the playoffs. I think I said during my schedule release episode that I feel that the first couple games are all must wins. You could win if you win those. You have an easy slate of games. Let's run through this again. Uh, Schedule. Okay. Jets win. That's a win. Saints at Panthers. So this is the Jameis Saints, and if you want to get them, you want to get them early for your first of two times. So that could be a win. I can see that being a win. You got Thursday Night Football against the Texans. That's a win. Cowboys. All right. At Dallas. I think that's a win. I think our defense, I think Dak's shoulder isn't going to be right, and I think our defense is going to take advantage of it. Eagles at Panthers. That's a win. I love Jalen Hurts as a player. There are rumors that they could trade for Deshaun Watson, that they could be leading the pack. But until that happens, I don't think Jalen Hurts scares anybody. The Vikings, that's a win. At Giants, they could be sneaky good. Saquon's back. He's going to challenge speaking about our linebacker depth, he's going to challenge our linebackers. But he also has to run through, DB, Antiquan, and the other guys. At Falcons, I think the Falcons are going to be trash. I'm sorry. Win. Patriots, Cam back. Oh, boy. What do you do with that? What do you do with that? I think that's a win. So have I chosen Panthers? Okay, I think the Panthers might lose against the Giants. Panthers could lose against the Cowboys. I say they beat the Cardinals, beat Washington. They might lose to Miami. And this when things get crazy. You got Atlanta, so I think that's a win. Might lose to Buffalo. They're playing December 19th or 18th, depending. I still want to go to that game. Open the dang border, America. Bucks, depending on where they're at, they could be hitting their stride. We pay them 2 times in the last 3 weeks, so they could be hitting their stride. So that could be a loss. Saints win. How many wins did I just give them right now? How many wins? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, clearly I'm a homer. Clearly I am a homer. All right, Ricky Polar, agree, Jem. What did Jem say? If our team next draft, we need to upgrade. Yes, 100%. CJ Saunders, the punt returner, special teams guy. What do you think? CJ Saunders. Sorry, I need to be updated on who that is. I'm a terrible person. Zystra, Saunders. No. If I'm gonna have a returner and it's not David Moore, it's gonna be Spencer Brown. There's something about the way running backs matriculate in a kickoff return, reading blocks. I love it. I'm all about that. I don't want to see Christian McCaffrey though returning any more kicks. I don't want to see DJ Moore returning kicks. It's either David Moore or Spencer Brown. That's what I want. I literally made a bet with 2 coworkers. They're Cowboys fans. I ain't trying to lose $100. I'm trying to win 100. All right. Panthers going to beat the Cowboys. I 100% think they're going to beat the Cowboys. There you go. Talk about homers. I clearly am one. I just gave the Panthers 12 wins. How do we feel about Steve Smith as a color commentator? I was all about it. I really did think he was going to swear. I totally thought he was going to swear. I thought he was going to curse. But it ended up being David Tepper, the one cursing, and I love it. Who's going to find him? Himself? He owns a team. He's the richest owner in the NFL. He can do whatever the heck he wants. But I thought Steve Smith was... He had a good balance between analyst and fan and ex-player, and it makes a lot of sense. There were some times where he was literally cheering. I think when the muff punt happened and the Panthers ran to the end zone, while he was excited and he called out the rule itself when you couldn't advance it, you could tell he was super hype. He was super hype about that. Every time the Panthers had a touchdown, he was super happy about it. And that's what you need. That's what you need in a hometown color commentator. I thought he was awesome. And he was also super honest about players as well. I think he cut Joey Sly about like 5 times during the broadcast. I think he said he was on a jet somewhere. He's out of here. That was some hot mic stuff right there. But hey, it's easy to bang on the kicker. And he did it a lot. So I think Steve Smith is great. I love him on NFL Network. And, if they can keep him going, I don't know how the Panthers broadcast works. Obviously, a lot of it's on Fox. But if somehow if he was on, well, he can't be on the radio call. He does stuff in LA, NFL Network. But if they could somehow incorporate him in the regular season doing analyst stuff, I love to hear it because, especially on the wide receiver side, this is a great wide receiver group for him to dissect and talk about. And I'd love to hear what he has to say. Great. Similar to win. Pro soccer. This is very true. This is very true. All right. This was a lot of fun. It's getting dark. My lighting isn't great, but you guys are great. I just want to say thank you for everyone who tuned in. I don't even know how long it's been, but I could be talking like this forever. I see PNP just started their live show. Y'all watch them. They are amazing. They are so humble and so nice. But this is such a great time. I do appreciate you guys, all you guys who are just tuning in and feeding me with topics. Jem Amet, Peter Marsden, Gary, Andy Hislop, Digit BR. It's 12:39 here. Been fun. It has been fun, Andy. All you guys. Lucas Weber, Auger Knott, Ken Dog, Darrell Zero Chill. I love what you guys talk about so far. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. I think we're at 32 people watching. We got up to like 34, and I appreciate the love. I cannot wait until September 9th or September 12th, I believe it is, against the Jets. Let me just double check. Schedule. The 12th, Sunday, 1 o'clock. I'll be in my living room watching with you guys, and I cannot wait. I hope you speak to your children about alcohol because I may or may not drink a beer during a game, depending on how stressed out I am. Especially when the Panthers hit the red zone. But I gotta say, they did well in the red zone in the first half of last night's game, and I loved it. And if they can just continue that, I'm a happy man. So no football next week. We're still gonna have an episode. We're gonna talk about our expectations again. Probably get some new clips. Going to find out who got cut. Surprise cuts on our team. Surprise cuts on other teams, and who maybe we want to target and pick up as a middle linebacker. It's a backup interior offensive linemen and left tackles. Great. So we're going to talk about that next week. We're going to see what happens. And yes, super hype about September 12th. Jets, Panthers, Zach Wilson. He's gonna get to know Brian Burns. He's gonna get to know Brian Burns up close and personal. But I do appreciate you guys. And, lightning again. Man, you saw that. Look at that lighting. I do appreciate y'all. You made it to 1K. I sure did. Keep pounding, guys. Keep pounding. Woo. Keep the streams going. I am keeping it going, Ken Dog. I'm keeping it going. But I do appreciate you guys. And, yeah. See you next week. Keep pounding. And now I'm trying to turn it off. Phew. And there's my kid's carriage.